Good Sunday evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on the 21st, the Sunday before Christmas. Hope you all had a good week. This coming week should be a short week. Uh, President Trump wrote in a executive order Christmas Eve and the 26th are federal holidays this year, so hopefully you're getting those off. My company would make us work Christmas if they could, so I'm happy just to get that day off. But I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're all ready for Christmas, starting to relax and getting ready for family to come over, getting ready to travel. I think Thanksgiving is the busiest travel year of the year, and I think Christmas is the second busiest, or maybe I got that backwards. I don't remember. I just know it's a busy travel day. So if you're traveling, be careful. If you're having people come over, enjoy it. So we can hang out here. And I'll be on next Sunday. There will be no Pulse this Wednesday. We're going to let everybody enjoy the holidays, and we don't want to pull you. We will be doing America's Pulse Network special. Every New Year's Eve, I read the night before Christmas, and we'll be doing that this Wednesday at 7. It's not going to be an all-night thing. 15, 20 minutes, I'll read it. Wish y'all a good Christmas, and y'all can get back to your family. That'll be Christmas Eve at 7. So hopefully you can join me for 15, 20 minutes and listen to my lovely baritone voice as I read the night before Christmas to you. If you can't see me, keep looking over to the right. Well, that would be the left on here. I'm watching the Pittsburgh Steelers kick the hell out of the Lions. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Right now, if you're curious, it is 22-10 with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Steelers are up. Looks like the Lions may be driving. I don't know. They just made a pass. Oh, wait, no, he just got pancaked. All right, so that's what's going on with them. If you're not a Steelers fan, I don't know what to tell you. Not everybody has good taste, I guess. So yeah, we got not a lot to cover. We got some interesting stuff to cover tonight, so we'll get right into that. Let's move on down the line. I don't know if you've seen this or heard about it, but Trump bans travel for holders with Palestinian Authority passports, and I say, awesome. We don't need them over here. Their own other Muslim countries don't even want them in their countries. We shouldn't let them over here either. They are horrible human beings. All they want to do is fight and kill. So much so, like I said, that other Muslim countries wouldn't even let them in during the Israeli conflict because they don't want them there. So why should we let them in? Of course, people will get upset about this, and the liberals are going to cry and scream and gnash their teeth and pull their hair out and curse the skies because we're actually putting Americans first and using common sense. Just because you have a passport doesn't guarantee you entry into any country. They can deny you entry. So this is not just an American thing. This is not just a Trump thing. It's a country thing. If we don't want you here, we reserve the right to not let you in. It's like going to a bar. Just because you're old enough to get into a bar does not guarantee you getting drinks. The bartender can cut you off or refuse you service because they're allowed by law to refuse service to anyone for any reason. There's not much difference between that and coming into a country. If we don't want you, you're not coming in. If you're here and we want you to leave, you got to go. And he's also added some other countries, mostly from the Middle East and I believe some African countries. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm so sick of people thinking that we need to be the Holiday Inn for the world and everybody can just come when they want to come and stay as long as they want to stay. And we got to foot the bill for them. No. And if that's how you feel, move. Go to another country that allows you to do that. And you won't be able to find a country that allows you to do that because no countries let you do that. All countries require you adhere to their laws or you leave. But liberals don't believe in laws. They believe in feelings and emotions. And if a law goes against their emotions, then it's a bad law. It needs to be wiped out or condemned. Or I'm sorry, it's very interesting. The Lions went for it, I think, on fourth down and did not get it. So Steelers ball. I'll make sure. I know that I'm not a sport. It's now 4th and 2. They're going for it. 8:45 left in the clock, and they're on the Steelers. Looks like 28. He's back to pass. There's a flag on the play or a timeout call. Timeout call. Sorry. I know I'm not supposed to be doing that, but I am. So yeah, that's happening. I think it's immediate or happened this week, so it's already in the book. So that's how it's going to be. Good. I have no problem with that at all. I have like I've been saying for the longest time now, we need to shut down immigration completely for a couple of years. We need to close our borders completely to everybody for a few years, clean up our own stuff. We got stuff in this country we need to take care of our veterans, our elder people, our children, get everything straight with that. Once we get everything moving smoothly, then we can start letting people, trickle in. I mean, there are some countries where you have to pay and it takes months to get approval to come in. We need to start doing that. We need to be very selective about who we let into our country. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you think there's something wrong with that, we have the chat. The pirate plank is what we'll call it. You can walk the plank, put down what you want to put, and I'll respond to it if I can. If you think we should just willy-nilly let people into our country whenever they want to come, let me know. Oh, Lions just scored. Damn it. On 4th down, they scored. God, that just shows a complete lack of defense and discipline on the Steelers. Anyway, that's what I think we should do. Close the borders down, be done with it, clean up our own country, take care of our own people first, then worry about visitors. It's like you wouldn't let people into your house if it was messy. So why would we let people into our country when we have a situation and problems we need to address ourselves? I'm sure you all heard about Rob Reiner being murdered by his son this week, and his wife were murdered. Apparently his son had schizophrenia, and the medication, like they're saying, made him erratic and dangerous. I thought the man was a good, made some really good movies and was a pretty good actor. Beyond that, I think he was just as horrible as the people that were cheering when Charlie Kirk got killed. I don't think he's any better than they are. Excuse me. I don't think that we should be insulting him or making fun of his death. Like we got upset with people that with Charlie Kirk. We shouldn't do that with this man. It's horrible when anybody's murdered. He did say some despicable things, but he's dead. No sense in bringing up the past or talking about him. He's gone. His son killed him, which is also just makes the whole situation even more horrible. Stabbed to death, I believe. I feel sorry for that entire family because not only have they lost like a mother and a father or aunt and an uncle or whatever, they've also lost a nephew, an uncle, or another family member because he's the one that murdered him. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, if you have a mental illness, I feel sorry for you. Get help. And then we should help you any way we can. But if you have a mental illness and you commit a crime like this, while I understand you have a mental illness, it is not an excuse, and you should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. You took 2 people's lives. Sorry you have a mental illness. But that doesn't excuse what you did. And you should pay the price. And I'm not making light of it because of that. That's my opinion. I don't feel a mental illness is an excuse to kill people. I mean, I know it's a legal defense and that's fine, but there's a difference between legal and moral, legal and ethical. There's differences. I don't think it's morally right to excuse murder because somebody has a mental illness. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a legal scholar. Again, that's just my opinion. Do I think he should face the death penalty? I know I've said in the past they should, but I've been thinking about it. Maybe that's where the line should be drawn for mental illness that causes someone to murder. Maybe they shouldn't face the death penalty, but they should never get out of prison because obviously they're not safe. They can't function in society, so they should be locked up for the remainder of their natural life. Maybe in a mental institution so they could get some help and maybe at some point live a normal life, but live a normal life while incarcerated. They should never get out again. I feel sorry for them. I'm sure that's the last thing anybody wants to see is their own child killing them. And that's what these 2 people, that was the last thing they saw before they died, was their son stabbing them to death. I can't imagine how horrible that is. My heart goes out to him as one human being to another human being. I don't care about his politics. I mean, he said some horrible things. That's, inexcusable, but the man was murdered by his son. And I can't imagine that being the last thing I would see. So I feel sorry for that family. That was in California. I believe that's where he lived. The land of fruit and nuts. Another big win for us Americans. Ilhan Omar was removed from the Foreign Affairs Committee. Because why do you want somebody on the Foreign Affairs Committee representing your country that doesn't like your country? That is more concerned with her homeland, where she came from, than she is the country that embraced her and let her in. I think she should be removed from office. Not just her, anybody who publicly denounces America and supports their homeland. She supports Somalia. She says she's there to help Somalia. And that's not why she was elected. Well, maybe she was because the people that voted for her are Somalians who are here probably illegally. But she should be removed from office. She doesn't have America's best interest at heart. And she should be removed. And I'm glad she's taken off the Foreign Affairs Committee. Again, we don't want her representing us to other countries when she doesn't care about this country. She's more concerned with Somalia, and that's fine and dandy, but you shouldn't be in public office here in America. If you want to support Somalia, you should be in Somalia representing them in their whatever form of government they have. But yeah, so that happened, and I can't. It's probably a pretty good Christmas present for all of us. She got removed, and of course she's going to scream racism and all this because that's what ignorant people claim when bad things happen to them, even though they brought it on themselves. Ignorant people claim racism. Oh, they did it because I'm Muslim. They did it because I'm Somali. They did it because of this. They did it because of that. That's what small-minded, unintelligent people claim when they know they're wrong and they're looking for sympathy. So they claim racism. When in doubt, racism. And it works because there's enough small-minded people in this country that will fall for it. Really, it's getting to the point where it's pathetic. It used to mean something when someone called you a racist. Like if I said, hey, that guy's a racist, people are like, oh my God, I'm not going to associate with that guy. That's horrible. With that girl, I know it's horrible. Now it doesn't mean anything. That guy's a racist. Oh, so what? I don't care. It's like people like the libs have taken the damage away from the word Nazi. Everybody's a Nazi. It used to be Nazi was a horrible thing to be called. You didn't want to be called a Nazi. Now it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're a Nazi. Well, whatever. I don't care. They've taken it all away. They've taken the power of words and made them into nothing. And I think that's by design. I think they want to. They do that on purpose. That way, when they do something that would legitimately make them a Nazi, and you call them a Nazi, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Or you call them a racist, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just a word. And we give words power, and you can take away the power of a word if you continually use it when it shouldn't be used. Like racist or Nazi. Yeah, so I'm glad she's taken off. That's a good Christmas present for all of us. Maybe we're starting to take this country back a little bit by little bit. It needs to happen a lot faster than it's happening. We're too concerned with people's feelings still. That's still a thing for us. Well, we can't do that. This is going to offend her. I don't care if we offend her. She's not worried about offending us. She's not worried about offending this country. Why should we be worried about offending her? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't try to make sense of people like that anymore. Like that big thing that was it CPAC was this weekend or something. Turning Point USA had something like that. And it was all people just screaming and yelling at each other. You have Steve Bannon, who was apparently at Epstein Island, calling Ben Shapiro a cancer. You got Ben Shapiro attacking Candace Owens, calling her crazy. And she is. She's legitimately, I think, is having a psychic episode or a mental episode. She thinks the French, oh, wait, hold on, Steelers, touchdown Steelers. Okay. I'm sorry. It's now the score, if you're curious now, is Steelers 29 and the Lions 17, fourth quarter, 6 minutes, 40 seconds left. The Steelers just busted a 40-yard run? 40-yard run. It's good to be a Steelers fan. They'll choke in the playoffs, so they always do. They're not much different than the Ravens. Play spectacular through the year, get to the playoffs, and crap the bed. Anyway, so that was going on. People pointing fingers, and this person's that. And then Candace Owens gets on her podcast and, F Ben Shapiro and his tiny pony, whatever the hell that means. I mean, I don't follow those people because they're all insane and they're attention whores. And then you got Tucker Carlson, who comes on and goes, well, I wasn't listening, so I don't know. You were listening, and it offended you, or you wouldn't have brought it up and spent your entire speech talking about it. These people are all, it's just, I think most of these people were the kids in high school that got picked on and were ignored, and nobody liked it. They weren't invited to the parties. They didn't play any sports. So now they're getting back at society because they're popular, and they've got millions of followers, and now they can do what they want. The best way to get, to end that kind of stuff is just stop listening to them. Stop listening to that. The French government, the U.S. government sent out hit teams to kill me. Or Tucker Carlson looks like he just pumped the neighbor's dog and is happy about it and is out there talking to you about it with that half shit-eating grin on his face. And then Ben Shapiro wasting time talking about these people that nobody really cares about except their own followers. And then Steve Bannon, there has been, is out there attacking everybody else. This is what's happening in the Republican Party right now. Well, I don't know if that's a Republican Party. I guess representatives of the party, not so much in the party. And of course, this is all done because of Charlie Kirk. Everyone's trying to defend his. The man's dead. Half the people are talking about Charlie Kirk now didn't say shit about him when he was alive, but now they can make a buck on it, and they can't stop saying his name. I don't know how many podcasts I've seen or listened to lately of people I've never heard of before, ever. All of a sudden now are famous because they're talking about Charlie Kirk and how much he meant to them, and that's their inspiration for starting their podcast. And every podcast is about Charlie Kirk. People, we need to stop making hustlers rich. And that's what these people are. They're hustlers. They're pimps. Stop listening to them. That's the only reason they're out there is to make money. That's why all they talk about. Anti-Semitism because it makes money. Anti-Israel because it makes money. Charlie Kirk every third word because it makes them money. I mean, they're standing on that poor man's grave getting checks. I don't understand it. I think this network, when he passed, everybody had, we had a show, talked about it for a week or so after that. And we've stopped because it's called respect. It's called being respectful. And these people don't have any respect. And it's getting old. It's getting to become a pain in the butt. But as long as they're getting paid and as long as people are watching, and they're not going to stop. They're going to keep running their mouths about how important he was and how much he meant to them because they're getting paid. They weren't on when he was alive. They weren't out there defending him when he was out there talking to his college students and college campuses when they were alive. Now that he's dead, they all know exactly what he thought, what he felt, and what he was going to do. I don't know what kind of batteries or crystal balls take, but I'd like to use it to get some winning lotto numbers. If they can tell you what somebody was thinking without them telling it, they must be able to tell me winning lotto numbers. And I could use that. I think we all could. So if you're watching and you know exactly what he was thinking, what he was going to do, get in touch with me and give me some winning lotto numbers. Doesn't have to be a big lotto. I'll take $1 million. I'll be happy with just $1 million. So just give me those numbers. I'd appreciate that. Moving right along, done talking about those people because they make me want to vomit, make my nose bleed. And it should aggravate you too. The next segment is called "If Stupidity Were Worth Gold," and you're going to see why I'm saying that once we get into it. Pretty much, crime is getting out of hand in this country. And it's not any one thing or any one reason, although there's a reason. Judges are not dropping the hammer. They're not holding people accountable anymore. You can do a crime and go to court and cry about it. Well, my mom and dad were mean to me, or he called me a name. And it seems to be okay then. Case in point, we have where is this guy? The accused pipe bomber. He's in court and people are supporting him and they're cheering for him. His family, I mean, I can understand, if that's your son, you want to support him, but he did wrong. He was placing bombs to kill people. How do you support that? And again, I understand. He's a family member and you want to be there for him, but there has to be a little common sense. Like, hey, he's my son or my grandson or my brother or whatever. I love him and we're here to support him. You can't go into court and cheer and shout for him. He was going to kill people. He was trying to kill people. Accused of trying to kill people. And what do you mean he's trying to kill people? He's placing bombs in public places. Why else do you do that? To try to kill people. So they were cheering for him and yelling for his support. And I don't know. I maybe I'm old-fashioned. Sorry, I dropped my pen. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. But, you support him privately. You don't scream and shout your support in court when he's being arraigned, especially when he's being accused of what he's been accused of. It's not like he's in court because he was caught with a joint or he was speeding or he ran a stop sign. I'm assuming he's being charged with, terrorism or something to that effect. And he should be. So you shouldn't be in there showing your ass. I support him. Yay, go. That's just not right. He did what he did. He needs to face the consequences. Like I just said, we need to start holding people accountable. You don't get to do something like this and then walk away from it. You should not be allowed to do that. And unfortunately, in this company, like in this country, I've said before, we have too many hung juries and not enough hung defendants. And it's just going to continue until we get judges that aren't afraid and aren't concerned about what people think of them. when we let police start enforcing laws and stop making them be social workers and party planners and pizza delivery guys. Let them be, they're called law enforcement for a reason. They're not there to adjudicate. They're not there to determine right or wrong or guilt or innocent. They are there to enforce the law, and then they pass it on to somebody else who decides all that. They're not there to deliver pizzas or hang out with you on the street and play basketball or have parties with you. That is not their job. And how do I know it's not working? Crime rates are crazy. Stuff like this is going on because police officers' hands are tied. Departments' hands are tied. They've promoted politicians rather than police officers into the hierarchy of police departments, and it's starting to show. You have people who are police officers that shouldn't be police officers because now we hire anybody because it's offensive to say you have to meet certain height, weight requirements, physical requirements, because that's not fair. They need to be inclusive. I could go on and on about that. But that's part of the reason why crime is crazy, or this crazy crime is going on, because we want to make sure everybody can be involved and become a police officer. And I've said it before, my father's a retired police officer, and he's told me several times, and his friends he used to work with have said it several times. Not everybody behind the badge should be behind the badge. There's no profession where everybody doing that profession should be doing it. There's no job like that. But we need to go back to what it was back in the day. When you became a police officer, you had to be a certain height, certain weight, had to be able to run a mile, had to be bench presses, stuff like that. That's what we need to get back to. That. And there's people who say, well, you need to be in college for 6 years to become. No, you don't. You're not there to adjudicate. You're there to enforce. You don't need to know why the law is there. You're not there to argue the law. You're there to go, hey, the speed limit says 55. You're doing 65. Here's your ticket. You're not supposed to shoot people. We got you with a gun. We think you did it. You're under arrest. They're not there to adjudicate. It's not their job. That's the state's attorneys, the lawyers, the judges, and so on. Police are not there to interpret the law. I don't know why you idiots think that. It's not their job. And thank God, because it'd be worse than it was now if they had to adjudicate everything they came in contact with and had to explain it. It would be ridiculous. Here's these bunch of mental giants. Apparently they, let me find, I got notes on these people because you just look at them, you know that's begging to be explained. Where did I put that? Here we go. FBI arrests 5 members of a radical pro-Palestinian group accused of planning New Year's Eve bombings. The arrested include Audrey Eileen Carroll, Zachary Aaron Page, Tina Ching Ting Lai, Micah James Lejeune, and Dante Anthony Gafford. The only one that really gives me a moment of pause is Zachary Page. That dude looks like he's crazy as a shithouse rat, and he probably should be locked up for the rest of his life. The rest of them look like rich kids that had too much free time on their hands and wanted to do something to help stop the genocide in Palestine. Have you ever noticed that when they arrest these radical groups, they're never radical Israeli groups, never radical Christian groups, never radical Buddhist groups. It's always radical Palestinian, radical Islamists. Always, without fail. I didn't even need to see the pro-Palestinian when I heard, radical. I knew exactly what it was, something to do with Muslims. But no, just keep bringing them in because, like, what did Tucker Carlson said? That's disgusting to do that. Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's like he's half simple anyway. But this is what they were going to do in the name of Palestine because, Islam is the religion of peace, about love, hugging, handshakes, kisses. It's all about all that. So that's what they wanted to do. I don't think they were really bombs. They're probably going to be like glitter bombs. So everybody can go, ooh, wow, it's beautiful. Pro-Palestinian people are dangerous. Dangerous people. Obviously. And I'm just talking about these 5 inbreds. I'm talking about all of them. They're never doing anything to help. They're there to harm and kill because they legitimately think Israel's committing genocide. I have said it before and I'll say it again. If Israel was committing genocide, there'd be more than 60,000 people dead since October 7th of last year. There'd be hundreds of thousands of people dead if they were purposely going out to kill civilians. This war would have been over in a couple of weeks. They'd have just carpet bombed Gaza and killed them all. They're not the ones trying to kill innocent people. The Palestinians are. They're the ones that on October 7th raped and killed women, killed children purposely, not accidentally, purposefully. That was their whole goal, was to go out and do that. And nobody says a peep about that. Nobody cares, because it's okay to do that to Jews. Jews aren't allowed to fight back. And I'm also wondering if Tina Chen, Tina Chin Ting, Chinese. I wonder if the Chinese are behind all this stuff too. And I'm not saying she's a Chinese plane. I'm just saying, it's worth looking into. Again, Zachary Page just scares the shit out of me. I don't know if he's a meth head or just a future serial killer. He just does not look like he's wrapped too tight. But they were arrested by the FBI, and I hope they go to jail for a long, long time. If they're proven to, in fact, if that's what they were trying to do, I hope that they get punished, and they should be. I think another couple, was it France and maybe England, I think I read somewhere, are canceling New Year's Eve parties because of this, because of threats of violence, kowtowing to Muslim groups, radical Muslim groups, or radical groups that support Islam. I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize if we don't wake up, it's going to get really ugly. If we allow these liberals in this country and people like Tucker Carlson to tell everybody it's wrong to discriminate. It's wrong to discriminate against people who've publicly said they want to kill you. It's wrong to judge a religion based on 30 million people, 300 million people that have sworn to kill every Jew they can find and erase America and erase Israel. It's wrong to judge them. That's disgusting, in his words. No, what's disgusting is to be a simp and a cuck and defend these people. They would kill him just as soon as they'd kill us. That's what I don't understand with these people that support, that are anti-Semitic and support Nazis and Hitler, all these people that do that don't realize that if this were the 30s and 40s, they would be killed too by the Nazis. The stupidity in this group of people is astonishing. Astonishing. And what's even worse is the stupidity of the people that follow them and that agree with them. That's even, well, it's not so much stupid as it is frightening that there's that many brain dead zombies in this country that just attach themselves to hate and go with it. It's not what this country was about. This country was about America first. This country was founded on a war. We killed the British to get them out of here and founded our country on Christian ethics. God is in the oldest documents we have. It's on the dollar, and God we trust. But no, we're not a, what did Obama say? We're not a Christian nation. Another asshole heard from. But we are. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it's okay for countries to be Muslim-based, and the liberals, applaud that, why is it not okay for this country to be Christian-based? What is the problem with that? Why is it good for them, but no, horrible here? I've never met a Christian that has wanted to cut my head off. I've never met a Christian that's wanted to kill a homosexual person, throw him off a building. Never met a Christian that wanted to cut your hands off because you were stealing something. Never met a Christian that wanted to dress women in head to toe in garb so you couldn't see them because they're second-class citizens. I've met Muslims that want to do that. Never met an Amish person that wanted to do that. Never met a Catholic, never met a Buddhist, never met a Protestant, never met a Taoist. None of those people. One religion. And people can try to hide behind that's racist or Islamophobic. It's fact. This is fact. And just because you don't like it doesn't change the fact that it's true. But we got too many people in this country that are worried about being friendly. And that's what's going to cause problems. That's what's going to happen to us. It is now 29-24, Steelers ball, 2 minutes, 28 seconds left, second and 11 at their 20. Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. I told you that. Let's watch this play. So it's a pitch. Running back gets 4 or 5 yards. Clock is running, which is the whole point of that. It's third down. I used to coach football, so that stuff interests me. I'm interested in that. But yeah, we need to, like I said, close our borders. Don't let anybody else in for a couple of years. All these people who are waving other countries' flags on our streets, defending that, they need to be put out immediately, sent back to the country of the flag that they're waving, because obviously that's where their allegiance lies and that's where they want to be. So pay for their flight back to there, and let's straighten up our country. Let's ignore the talking heads that are on, saying that this is wrong to do that, or that's bad, or, this, or that. Worry about country, worry about our veterans, our elderly, and our children. Let's get this country straight. Let's get people back to work. More people back to work. Let's take care of that first. Once we got our backyard clean, then let's have a discussion on letting people back into the country from other countries. And like I said, just because you've got a passport doesn't guarantee you can come here. We don't want you. You're not coming. We need to get back to America first. I'm not an isolationist, but I am very much so a America first person. Oh, wait, big deep pass, incomplete. I don't know. That's just me. And if you agree, if you put it in the chat, let me know what you think about shutting the borders down for a couple of years, not letting anybody in. Because I know y'all get tired of hearing me just talk about what I want to talk about. Ask me a question. I will answer it for you as best I can. Won't ignore it. It might take me a minute to get to it, but I will get to it. So, yeah, we had that going on. And then we have this judge, finds Milwaukee judge Hannah Dugan guilty on felony obstruction. She's facing 5 years in prison. If you don't recall who she is, she's the one that was helping to hide and alert illegal immigrants that ICE was coming. I guess she thought because she was a judge that was okay, but she found out very quickly that it's not okay, and hopefully she does some jail time. She needs to go to jail. Everybody's accountable when it comes to the law. If I can get in trouble for it, she should be able to get in trouble for it. She should get no special preferential treatment or anything. She's found guilty of a crime. Whatever that normal, average working adult would get is what she should face. But that's not going to happen, and we all know it. She's not going to do jail time. They've already made a deal. She's going to walk out with a fine and some community service. And she's probably going to make $100,000 a day on the speaking tour, on the speaking circuit, talking about how evil she was treated and how wrong it is to kick people out of the country. She's going to make more money then than she was now, and that's because this country, we make stupid people famous. Criminals are heroes. And that's what she is. She's been found guilty. She's a criminal. Hopefully she can't be a judge anymore. I don't know. It's iffy. They might not have punished her like that. Who knows? Field goal Steelers. It is now, let me see. I can't see. 30. No, I think he missed it. He missed it. It's 24 Lions, 29 Pittsburgh with 2:05 left. Yep. Boswell missed the field goal. Steelers need to learn how to close games. They have the lead, and then they just can't finish it off. Anyway. So, yeah, she's looking at 5 years in prison. Great. But we both know, everybody knows she's not going to do 5 years. She's not going to do 5 minutes. They're going to stick her with a fine, like I said, and then they're going to slap her on the wrist and send her home. Because that's what this country does to criminals who are important people. They get away with what they want to do because they're important. And we all know they're not important. Let me find the next thing I want to talk about in here. I probably should get like a notebook when I do this so I can go quicker. And this is the one and only time I'm going to talk about this guy. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I don't want to make him any more famous. Nothing. This is a picture of Claudio Nueves Valentin, the person they suspect was the shooter at the Brown University who killed himself before he could be held accountable for his actions. I have notes. Let me find them. No, I don't even talk about him. So let me get him off the screen because he's not worth keeping. As you recall, he's the gentleman that went to Brown University last week, went to the engineering building and shot people. And apparently they're suspecting him of killing another professor, I think they said at MIT, before Brown. They haven't found any connections between the two, and they don't really know why he's done it yet. I can tell you why he's done it. He's crazy. Normal people don't do this. And again, I'm not making excuses for him. Like I said, insanity should not be a defense. I mean, the man had the wherewithal to travel from Wisconsin to Rhode Island. So he planned it. So it's premeditated. And he should suffer the consequences. I mean, it's that simple. And again, there are people on X and other social media, which I think is why they do it, because no one can reach out and grab them, that have not once mentioned anything about the shooter, but are blaming guns and Trump, not holding the man who pulled the trigger accountable. It's the guns' fault. Guns need to be banned. If there were no guns in the world, nobody would ever die again. There'd be no murder. It's Trump's fault. Trump, this is the culture he's created in this country. Not one of these liberals have put blame where blame should be on the shooter. They're not going to do that because, again, they have no problem with criminals. They don't care about us. They care about criminals. And they want to make sure that they're treated humanely and treated more fair than we are, and that no blame ever falls on them. So that's why they don't say it's his fault. They don't hold him accountable. It's everything else but him. And if you don't believe me, just go on X. Look at all these idiots that post stuff about things like this and notice they don't mention the shooter. It's guns Trump, guns Republicans, guns conservatives. Not once do they say the man who pulled the trigger should be punished. It's his fault. He's responsible. They don't do it. And they never will. That'll never happen. You'll never see lib putting blame where blame should be. They're going to look for every other reason they can, because that's how they are. They're mentally disturbed. They don't see the world as it is. They see it as how they wish it would be. And that's it. That's all they need to know. It wasn't the shooter's fault. It's all the gun's fault. He wouldn't have hurt anybody if there were no guns. And that's what they want you to believe. Which is sad because people die. Illegal alien accused of killing man hours after being released from police custody. I don't know why people don't want to work with ICE. I don't understand well, I know why it is, because it doesn't feel good. It's mean. But it's okay for these people to get out and kill other people. It's fine. Well, we have our own, it's not like we don't have criminals in this country. Exactly. We don't want to import foreign models. We have enough domestic criminals. We don't need to import foreign models. We need to, again, shut the borders down for a couple of years. Completely. Not just a little bit. Completely. Be done with it. Get our country straight. Get these people out of here. Keep the ones that want to be here. And then in a couple of years, slowly open the gates. Very slowly. But that's not going to happen. We're going to continue to let people in this country how they want to come in. And it's not going to be good for us. Obviously, they're killing us. And liberals are defending him. I guarantee if you went to like CNN, the headline would read, man accused of killing after being released from Gestapo custody. Something stupid like that, because it's not right to arrest illegal aliens. It's not right to deport them. We need to keep them, pay for them, feed them, clothe them, give them medical support, all that. We're required to do that. No other country in the world would do that, but we have to, because that's what the libs want. And apparently not enough Republicans have enough balls to stand up and say no. There's a play under review now. It looks like it was a pass from the Lions to a defensive man or offensive man. They trapped the ball. It was rolling around. Yeah, not a catch. It's incomplete. If it's not incomplete, the fix is in. I'm just saying it now. Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. So that guy did this, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of looking at the news and finding out illegal immigrants are killing my countrymen and that there are people in the government defending them. I'm tired of it. It's like the idiots that were calling for disobey all illegal orders. I was in the military. You're taught that. You don't need to remind me of that. You're only doing that to cause problems. You're trying to stir up drama. Like this. We can't deport them. We got to give them a path to citizenship. You're trying to stir up drama where there doesn't need to be. There's a law. The law says you can't be here if you came illegal. You have to leave. End of discussion. Anything beyond that is just drama. And that's what the liberals are doing. And some Republicans are doing it too. If you speed, you get a ticket. If you steal, you get arrested. If you come into the country illegally, you get kicked out. That's how it should be. Cut and dry, plain and simple, common sense. But common sense is so rare nowadays, it should be a superpower. So, yeah. And as long as we let politicians decide our fate, it'll never be good, because they're going to do what will keep them in office. If they think having illegal aliens in this country will keep them in office, that's what they're going to do. If they think having people run around murder people will keep them in office, that's what they're going to do, because they are there to fix the problems. And if there are no problems and there's nothing to fix, people will soon realize we don't need politicians. It's not that important to have them around. So why do we need them? It's that simple. But there will always be problems. That's why I'm saying all politics are local. Worry about your local elections. That affects you more than the federal elections do. And that, I guess that could be an opinion, but I think my paycheck's more affected by the moron in Maryland that's in the governor's house than by President Trump. I think that's what it is. But we'll be right back.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Yep, those are fellow podcasters, Alexandra Levine. She won't be on this week. She'll be with her family celebrating the holidays. So it's just me and the Hammer. And again, we will not be doing the Pulse Wednesday at 8. Instead, I'll be on at 7 and I'll read the night before Christmas like I always do. So I hope you can jump on for the short time that will take and let your family listen to my smooth, silky voice reading it was the night before Christmas. This game is dragging on. It has no end in sight. There is 1 minute, 14 seconds left. 2nd and 10, Lions ball. And I think with this game, if the Lions lose, they're out of the playoffs. If the Steelers win, I think it keeps them alive. If they lose, still think they got a good chance. But this is definitely do or die for the Lions. So I guess we'll find out in a minute 14 what's going to happen. So yeah, then Damon the Hammer will be on this week. I'll be on this week. And of course, next Sunday I'll be on because I'm not affected by the holidays being on Sunday. So yeah, again, Wednesday at 7, I'll be doing the night before Christmas. Share that with everybody you know. It'll be an event, and I've always done it, so it's not new. Oh, this is ridiculous. Anyway, so Venezuela's still messing around. So America has seized a second oil tanker. Let me find that here. This thing moves very slow. I don't know what's going on. There we go. They've seized a second oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Seized a U.S. Coast Guard Maritime Special Reaction Team and the U.S. Navy were involved in this operation. As you recall, they did one earlier. They kept it. I'm not sure the reasoning behind it. I've been looking for it. Maybe because there's an embargo going on, but they've done it. And of course, Maduro has said now that America is going to face consequences for doing that. I don't know what consequences. He can't even control his own country. He's got drug cartels running his country, but he has the wherewithal to come after us. I don't know. It's ridiculous. We don't need to be involved in a war there. And I hope cooler heads prevail and things happen to prevent that. But there's a buildup going on. And like I said, you don't do that if you're not trying to start something. It's really that simple. So I hope it's just over soon. I don't want anybody to be involved in anything. We've shot some of drug runner boats that people are saying aren't drug runner boats, but every time you see a picture of them, there's absolutely nothing in there except barrels and crates. Last time I checked, you don't go fishing with barrels and crates. Steelers are now losing. It is 30-29 with 22 seconds left in the game. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is. Looks like it is pass interference. on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down. 22 seconds left in the game. Lions ball, Steelers 10, I believe, or 12, something like that. So we've taken another boat from Venezuela. They're threatening us. I don't think we're really responding to what they are. I don't know if we've shot or put down any other boats recently. If we have, they're not putting it out in the news anymore. And again, there are liberals defending Maduro and the drug cartels like they're the victims because liberals are sick people. Hold on. Could be the last play of the game. Looks like there's another flag down. False start offense. 22 seconds left. Repeat first down. I'm not a sportscaster, so I'm not making it as exciting as it really is, but it is first and goal on the 20 with 22 seconds left. So we need to make a decision the current administration needs to make a decision about the current issue with Venezuela. What are we going to do? Are we going to war? Are we going to invade? What is it we're going to do? Because we can't keep doing this every day. 13 seconds left. Timeout. Lions. Looks like the 10-yard line. So we need to make some decisions. If we're going to do something, we need to do it and do it quick because we don't want this to be a long, prolonged, drug-out action. If we're just going to keep doing this, that's fine. We need to go to the table, get Maduro to sit down and listen to what we have to say, and hopefully he'll agree, and we can avoid a whole thing because we don't need it. We don't want it. I mean, drugs, it's wrong to start a war with this, to get our people involved in a war. It's that country's responsibility, not ours. We can't police every country. And I get it. Their drugs are killing our people. I get it, 100%. But until we take care of the demand, doesn't matter how we do the supply. There will always be someone there to supply drugs to them. It will never, ever cease. It will never stop. So we need to get rid of the demand, and then we can work on the supply. And I know you got to work both at the same angle. You just can't do it. I understand all that. And it's not that cut and dry. There's gray areas. I just don't want to get involved in a war. I don't want to put our people in harm's way. I just don't. Do I think it's worth a war? I think something needs to be done. I agree with that 100%, but I don't know if a full-out war is something that we need to do. There has got maybe clandestine stuff, black ops, things like that don't involve the entire country. But we just need to be careful what we wish for. 6 seconds left. 4th and goal. Incomplete pass into the end zone. Still Lions ball. So this is the last play of the game. Hopefully the Steelers can close it out. I don't have much faith. I'm a Steelers fan. They haven't been able to close out a game in a while. But yeah. So we've done that in Venezuela. And now we've done that in Iran. Let me find the notes on that one because that is pretty interesting. Where is it? I have notes. Trust me, I do. I just don't have them in order, and I need to start doing that. Here we go. U.S. Department of Treasury on Thursday announced sanctions against 29 vessels and their management companies for assisting Iran in evading U.S. oil sanctions through deceptive shipping practices. According to the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, the OFAC, the vessels were part of Iran's so-called shadow fleet, a network used to transport Iranian petroleum and petroleum products while obscuring their origin through methods such as ship-to-ship transfers and complex ownership structures. Iran is just a cancer. I mean, you got Steve Bannon calling Ben Shapiro cancer. There's a cancer right there. Iran has always been a boil on the face of the planet. It's a country that doesn't do anything for its neighbors other than cause stress. It constantly is killing its own people. They're trying to go nuclear now. I think they said in the next year or so they'll have nuclear capabilities. And it's dangerous to allow them to have anything. So again, I'm glad they're doing it. Treasury officials said the sanctioned vessels transported hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Iranian crude oil and refined petroleum products, including fuel oil, bitumen, naphtha, and condensate. I don't know what those are. Since President Donald Trump returned to office, his administration has sanctioned more than 180 vessels involved in shipping Iranian petroleum and petroleum products. If there's an embargo, they can't do it. That's how it should be. You don't get to, because it's mean. Well, no, what's mean is threatening your neighbors and saying you're going to kill all the Jews and wipe Israel off the planet. What's mean is supporting every terrorist organization in the world. That's what's mean. Getting your hands smacked for it and paying a price for it is not mean. That's called accountability. It's called you're being held accountable for your poor decisions. It's that simple. But again, people are going to complain about it. Well, we can't do that. It's not fair. They have a right. No, they don't have a right. They don't have a right to threaten their neighbors. They don't have a right to fire missiles at people. They don't have the right to do half of what they do. It's that simple. Someone needs to tell them no. And unfortunately, it falls to us yet again because there's not many people in this country, in the world, that want to do this. They go, oh, it's okay. It's not really affecting us. It's not affecting you. Hold on. There's a flag on the play, 0 time on the clock. And that's game. Pittsburgh won 29-24. The Lions are officially out of the playoffs. And I think the Steelers are like not really a shoe-in, but they're close to doing it. But yeah, so the Steelers are now, I can't see their record. Here we go. Steelers are 9-6, and the Lions are 8-7. So that's the season for them. It's over. I'm happy. I think there needs to be more done to countries that sponsor terrorism. I think we need to do more than just oil embargoes. I think everybody should embargo them for everything. You're not getting any more food. You're not getting any more cash. You're not getting anything from anybody else until you clean up your act. Stop trying to kill your neighbors all the time. Stop blaming the world for your problems. I mean, everybody's, all these people saying, God is on their side. God loves us. Tehran is out of water. They don't have water for their people. Gaza is flooding. Do they really think God is on their side? Do they really think God is going to support people that openly call for the death of other people? Not because the people they want to kill have done anything horrible. They worship another God. Do they really think God is going to defend that? No, that's why one country's flooding and one country's out of water. I don't know how much more of a tap on the shoulder you need to get to understand that, no, God doesn't support you. Doesn't support murder. Doesn't support rape. No, God does. And that's why you're facing these natural disasters. No water. I think they're even talking about evacuating Tehran because there is no water. They don't have enough to give their people. Gaza is flooding because they have too much water. Hello? Am I the only one that sees this? Am I the only one that this makes sense with? It's happening all around us. You just got to open your eyes and you can see it. And these people need to start paying attention to it. Like, hey, we need to change our ways. We can't just start killing people because they don't worship my God. We can't rape people because they don't worship our God. We can't teach our children to do that because apparently the big guy upstairs doesn't like that. We got no water, or we've got too much water. We're being flooded. But no, they're going to blame the Jews for that too, probably. We have no water because of Jews. We have too much water because of the Jews. Israel's fault. It's Israel's fault. It's the West's fault. People are insane. They're insane. They can justify anything they do in their own minds because they're crazy. That's what no one gets. You're not going to be able to reason with these people. You can't. And I'm sure y'all heard about this. U.S. bombed Syria this week. Let me find that story because that's a good one. Here we go. It's right here. Nope. I promise I'm going to start carrying a note, doing this in a notebook because this is ridiculous. I can't find anything. ISIS killed 2 Air Force people and an American translator, an English translator. And the U.S. military struck back, as we should. The U.S. military Excuse me. The U.S. military has carried out a massive strike against the Islamic State group in Syria in response to a deadly attack on American forces in that country. The U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, said jet fighters or fighter jets, attack helicopters, and artillery struck more than 70 targets and multiple locations across Syria. Aircraft from Jordan were also involved. It is said the operation employed more than 100 precision munitions, targeting known ISIS infrastructure and weapon sites. Donald Trump said, "We are striking very strongly against 15 strongholds following the 13th December ambush in the city of Parler, in which two U.S. soldiers and a U.S. civilian interpreter were killed." Good. Like I said, you can't reason with these people. You can't talk with these people. All they understand is force and power. So let's give them both in alarming amounts. Bomb them. And I wouldn't stop bombing them. I would have done it for 2 or 3 days until they begged me to stop. And then turned over the people that killed my soldiers. Don't stop, because they're just going to do it again. They're going to say they stopped because it was the will of our God. That's why no. Don't give them an out. Don't give them an excuse. Bomb them back to the Stone Age, which won't take very long, but do it. They need to be afraid. And they're not afraid. That's why they're still killing our people. Because they know we're gonna have a measured response. We're gonna stop after a bit, and then we're gonna just, look what we did. And then 2 weeks later, they're gonna do the same thing again, and then they'll hunker down and deal with the limited response. And it continues like it has done for decades. Carpet bomb the country. I'm tired of dealing with these desert rats every other week. I'm tired of them killing people and nothing happening to them. Innocent people. And everyone just sits back and goes, oh, well, it's not all of them. It's just a couple of them. I don't care. The people that aren't involved need to start stepping up and stopping the people who are involved. Stop defending them. Silence is defending. If you don't call it out, you're just as guilty. You're an accessory after the fact. Stand up and say something. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Killing people, like I said, because they don't worship your God, is wrong. We need to bomb them more. And in a statement on X, CENTCOM, which directs American military operations in the Middle East, said Operation Hawkeye Strike was launched at 1600, 4 o'clock for you civilians, on Friday. And they stopped. They should have done it all weekend. They should have still been doing it. Like I said, those people don't understand anything other than force. You can't talk, can't reason, can't compromise. They will continue to do it until you take away their ability to do it. That's why we're doing what we're doing in Iran. Where is that? Right here. That's why there's an embargo on Iran's fuel. We're not letting them make money, taking away their ability to do things. And it has to continue, and it has to be stricter. It has to be enforced, and it has to be just more than us doing it, because everything these people do affect the rest of the world. Today it's American soldiers, tomorrow it's British soldiers, then it's French soldiers, then it's other soldiers. They don't care because they haven't felt the pinch hard enough yet to realize they need to stop. And until they do, this will continue, and innocent people will die all around the world. While the liberals do nothing but curse us for deporting them out of our country. While they take over France and England and Norway. Because nobody wants to tell them, no, you can't be here. Except Poland. Poland told them, no, you can't come here, and their country's fine. Japan has told them, no, you can't come here, and their country's fine. China, well, that's a very low bar. They don't want anybody there, but they've said the Muslims can't come there either, and their country's fine. Then again, China doesn't want Christians or Jews or anybody else there either. So that's not really a good example. Japan and the other countries that don't let them in are fine. The countries that have let them in are having issues with them. Look at us. The Somalis in Michigan, they're saying now that the fraud they've committed is in the billions. The autistic child welfare thing where they tell the state, yeah, my child's autistic, and collect money for a child that's not autistic. Food stamp fraud, welfare fraud, housing fraud, in the billions, they're saying, up until at least $1 billion right now. Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, the governor of that state, is defending it because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. And he'll get revoted in again, and it'll cost the state billions more. And then the wonder why taxes are so high there and jobs are hard to come by and can't afford gas, can't afford food. They don't have the money. But keep voting these idiot people in, like Moore in Maryland. Keep voting these shitheads in, raising taxes all the time, and then filing lawsuits against the president using taxpayer money that we don't have, so they'll have to jack taxes up again. In Maryland, they've come up with a committee for reparations. They want to pay reparations to people of color because of what happened 400 years ago. To people they've never met that don't know. They want people who weren't involved that never owned anyone to pay them. Or they want to get discounts on housing or free, whatever it is they want to give them. It'll be covered by the taxpayer. That's ridiculous. These people were never slaves. They never suffered slavery. They never knew anybody that was a slave. They're so removed from it, it's at this point, it's a joke. But they want reparations, and they're going to do it. And everyone's like, well, Governor Moore voted against it and never wrote his veto. He voted against it so he can run for president. He supports it 100%, but he's got to look like he doesn't, so he vetoed it, knowing it would be getting overridden. He never once thought that would never happen. He knew it was going to happen, but he's trying. It's all smoke and mirrors. Now he looks like he's the good guy. I don't agree with that. If you believe that, you're a bigger idiot than he is. All political posturing. And if you can't see that, please don't vote. Don't. Because you're a sucker. And everyone else is going to pay for your stupidity.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So that was Alexandra Levine. She's our White House correspondent. So she's going to, like I said, she's off this week, spending time with her family. And again, there won't be the Pulse on Wednesday. I'm sure that breaks everybody's heart. But at 7 o'clock Wednesday evening, Christmas Eve, I will read The Night Before Christmas like I have for the last 4 or 5 years. That'll be at 7. So if you can join in. We might even have a special guest to help read it. Only one way to find out is to be here. And then, of course, I'll be on Sunday because the holidays don't affect my Sunday. And, excuse me, Damon the Hammer Galdo shows will be this week as well because he's not affected by the holidays. So make sure you're here Wednesday night for The Night Before Christmas. And then next Sunday, it's 7 for me. And then, of course, here for Damon and his shows this week. And the following week, which is New Year's, I believe, same thing. We won't be on Wednesday because of the holiday. Damon will be on, and then we'll be on Sunday at 7 again, but no Pulse next Wednesday either. Spend time with your families. Doesn't have to be about politics all the time. I don't know if you've heard about this. I've been kind of following it. It's kind of funny. The UK government is having people who are, hunger strikes for Palestine. Not that they're not being fed. These people have made a conscious decision not to eat. They're adults, and they've made the decision. The UK government would have allowed a hunger striker to die if supporters had not demanded medical care for her. Zahara Sultana said at a protest in Scotland, "It is not the government's responsibility to force feed you. If you're dumb enough not to eat for a make-believe state that is killing people, die. It's not my responsibility to feed you. You've made a decision not to eat. You're refusing to eat. Bye. Do it quietly. Stop crying for help. Stop having people come out and make a big dramatic scene out of it. You made that decision. No one forced you into doing it. You decided to do that. And now that you're not getting any coverage, now it's, I'm going to die. I need help. The government has to feed. No, the government doesn't have to do anything. I don't understand why they think the government's role is to make you eat. You're a goddamn adult. You made a stupid decision and now you're paying the price and now you need to be bailed out. No. The gene pool needs a little chlorine. Starts with you. You don't even live in Palestine. You live in the UK and you're not eating because of something that happens down there. Did you stop eating when the Hamas was raping women on October 7th? Did you stop eating when they were choking babies with their bare hands? Did you stop eating when they put kids in ovens and killed them? No, you stopped eating when Israel said, no, we're not putting up with this. And they started killing Hamas. Then you stopped eating. So I don't feel sorry for you. I think you're the biggest idiot in the face. And I think there's like 3 or 4 of them that aren't eating. So don't eat. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Except the other idiots that are protesting for a fake state that has never existed. So don't eat. Stop looking for sympathy. You're a moron, and you've made this decision of your own free will. It's nobody else's responsibility to force you to eat or to even get you medical assistance. You can do that yourself. You know what? You don't even need medical assistance. You know what you got to do? Fucking eat, and you'll be fine. It's that simple. Eat and drink, and you'll be fine. You don't need a doctor because that's what the doctor is going to tell you. Eat. You need to eat, and you need to drink some water, and you're going to be fine. Don't eat a lot at first. Eat a little bit, but work up to it. You don't need a doctor. You put yourself in this position. Eat. A vet could tell you that. You need to eat. Hell, the lunch lady at the high school down the road from you could tell you you just need to eat. But they're making this big thing out of it, and the government should be like, we're not getting involved. We're not the nanny state. We don't force people to do what they don't want to do. They don't want to eat, then they don't eat. It's that simple. And it's not some big medical issue. All you got to do is eat. See what I mean? We make stupid people famous. Not in just this country, apparently. In the UK, they do too. They make idiots famous. The government would have allowed the hunger striker to die. No, they wouldn't have allowed her to die. She would have allowed herself to die. The government has nothing to do with that. So it should read, the UK government would have stood by and allowed a hunger striker to commit suicide. Because that's what this is, committing suicide. The government has no control over what you decide to do. If you don't want to eat, you don't want to eat. If supporters had not demanded medical care for her, who's paying for the medical care, I wonder? It's because something tells me the idiot that's not eating probably doesn't have a job, doesn't have health insurance, and everybody else has got to pay for her stupidity or his stupidity, whoever it is. Oh my God, this should just, it doesn't so much anger me as make me laugh. It's the government's fault. She's on a hunger strike. No, it's a personal choice she made. Government had nothing to do with it. And if you're not feeling well and you need medical attention, have a Snickers. Have a Snickers and a Coke. You probably start feeling better. Stop blaming everybody else for your stupid decisions. Stop making everybody else pay the bills for your stupid decisions. Excuse me. I don't know if you all saw this fight. Anthony versus, what's his whole, I don't even like the guy. Went 6 rounds. The first 5 rounds pretty much were a track meet. Jake Paul was running around for his life. You could tell he was scared. Throw a couple punches and then run. Anthony was trying to cut the ring off. The ring was, I think, 22 feet as opposed to the regulation, which I think is 20 feet. I can't remember. But the ring was bigger. And for 6 rounds, it was pretty much swing and a miss, couple hits. Jake Paul would fall down and try to take Anthony down with like a wrestling hold. At one point, the ref actually pulled Jake Paul aside and said, look, the people didn't pay for this crap. This is a boxing match. 6th round, I guess Anthony got tired of chasing after the boxer, Jake Paul, and laid him, well, didn't knock him out, but put him down. He was still conscious, but couldn't get up, and you can see he broke his jaw in 2 places. And I hope this is the end of Jake Paul and his I'm the greatest thing for boxing ever. I hope that he just goes away. Maybe goes with his brother, goes to the WWE and becomes a professional wrestler. You know, something more up his alley, something that he can control because he's not a boxer. If you look at his record, the 2 boxers, or the 2 current boxers that he fought, he lost to. Fury and Anthony. They beat him. I don't think Fury put him down, but won on points. Anthony put him down and won on a knockout. And people say, with much respect for Jake Paul, he got in the ring with him and showed, I don't have respect for him. He was a payday. The guy's not a boxer. He's making a joke out of the sport. And I'm glad he got his ass kicked. Hopefully this teaches him a lesson. Breaking your jaw is apparently very painful and takes a long time to heal. So hopefully he's learned a lesson and he won't go back into the ring with real boxers, which means he'll go back to the ring with 90-year-old men that haven't fought in years and then call that a victory. I've never been happier to see somebody get knocked around in my life. But something tells me we haven't heard the last of him. He's going to come back, and it's as long, like I said, as long as we're paying these idiots to be in the spotlight, they're going to keep coming back. I blame us more than him. I mean, if the man's getting paid, he's getting paid, and we're paying him. So stop paying him. Stop watching his pay-per-views, whatever bullcrap he has on. I mean, this was on Netflix, so it was free, but I'm sure he's had pay-per-views in the past. And we just need to move away from these people. I mean, and I'm glad Anthony, I mean, it was a boring fight. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you saw it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is like a boxing, performance. It was, wow, this is boring. Run. Jake Paul tried to tackle him. Run, punch, run. I think like in the first 2 rounds, there was a total of 40 punches thrown by both people. And I understand he's been out, Anthony Joshua has been out of the ring for 15 months. So yeah, there's some ring rust, but still. Very boring fight. I'm just glad the outcome was what it was. I'm glad it didn't go the distance. As you can see here in this shot, looks like he's having his face removed. I mean, I'm sorry you got his jaw broken. I'm sure it hurts, but that's what happens when you get in a ring with a real boxer who knows how to fight, not some 50, 60-year-old man who hasn't fought in years. You fight a real boxer, you're going to get hurt. I don't feel sorry for him as far as that goes. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to think that you can actually go toe-to-toe with a professional boxer when you're just like a YouTuber? I mean, really. I mean, there's some pictures in the fight where you see Jake Paul, and he legitimately has a look of fear. Like, oh my God, I should not be in here. And I don't blame him. He shouldn't have been in there. They shouldn't have sanctioned that fight to begin with. I don't know what fool they found to go, oh yeah, it seems like a legit fight. Seems fair. Seems reasonable. And for all you Army fans, just in case you forgot, Navy won. Just wanted to remind you. Navy beat you. 2 years in a row now. We keep the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. It stays in Annapolis. We beat you. I'll leave that there for a second so you can feel it. Feel it. Enjoy it. Drink it in. We won. Okay. So like I said, Christmas is coming up. In 4 days is Christmas, 3 days till Christmas Eve. Hope you've got all your stuff done. Hope you're ready for your family. And like I've said, and I'll say it again, remember, this is not all about going broke and getting your cards maxed out and stressing over that and doing this to make sure everybody gets exactly what they want. That's not what this is about. Don't put yourself in debt to make people happy. It's not about what you give. It's about the thought behind it. And that's what's really important. I don't want people to stress out. I don't want to read about people killing themselves over Christmas because of the stress. Don't. We've gotten away from what this holiday is all about and made it commercial. And it's not just us. It's usually around the world. It's become a commercial holiday. It's about what, the new iPhone you can get or the new video game or whatever new. Buy cars and stuff like that. Go into debt. New credit cards. We'll raise your... Don't buy into it. Really, don't. Do what you can do. It's about family. It's about being with people you care about. It's about enjoying the holiday. It's about relaxing and doing fun things. Doing things that have meaning. Not going to work, working for people that don't give a shit about you. Making money for people you'll never meet that would fill your job in an hour if you died at the job. It's not about that. It's about being with people who legitimately care about you and want the best for you and enjoying their company and eating and having fun. But most importantly, there's a reason behind the holiday that I think a lot of people have gotten away from. And it just doesn't, even if you're not religious, you need to understand this is the reason we celebrate this holiday. People say, well, it's a pagan holiday. He wasn't even born in December. I would be, if my grandfather had breasts, he'd have been my grandmother, and, winged monkeys could fly out of your butt, things like that. This is the reason why. And all that other stuff is minutia. It doesn't matter what time of year. This is when we celebrate it. This is why we celebrate it. And there's nothing wrong with remembering that. And it's stupid not to remember. If you think Christmas is just about Santa Claus and getting gifts, you've missed the boat. You're lost. Now, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to read the Bible. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to remember why we're here, why we're doing this. And if you want to go to church, if you want to read the Bible, that's fine. It's not a requirement. I'm just reminding you, remember the reason for the season. It's really that simple. It's not about iPhones and video games and new cars and credit card debt and stress. It's not about that at all. Not even close. So please remember that. Please. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching the Steelers win with me. That was pretty fun. And we're at that part of the show where I usually read my opinion. And again, you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. Just share my opinion. You can say, hey, that's great. I agree with it. Or you can tell me to kick rocks and go about my business and never watch me again. It's completely up to you. In the rush of December, lights strung across streets, carols spilling from every speaker, lists of gifts growing longer, we can easily forget what Christmas is whispering beneath all the noise. It isn't about the gifts. It never was. Christmas is about a gift, singular, one so profound that no wrapping paper could ever contain it. Long ago, in a small town called Bethlehem, under a sky bright with an unusual star, a child was born in the humblest of places, a stable, surrounded by animals, laid in a manger meant for feed. His mother was young, his earthly father a quiet carpenter, and the first to hear the news were shepherds, ordinary people working the night shift. The child was Jesus. Christians believe he was the Son of God himself, stepping into our world, not as a conquering king with armies and gold, but as a vulnerable baby who would one day give everything he had for the people who often didn't even know they needed him. The reason for the season is this: God became one of us. He entered our mess, our cold nights, our loneliness, our pain. He lived the life we live, felt joy and grief, friendship and betrayal, hunger and exhaustion, so that we could never again have to wonder if we were truly seen or loved. The gifts we give one another at Christmas are beautiful echoes of that greater gift. When we choose something thoughtfully for someone we love, when we sacrifice time or money to bring them joy, we're reflecting, in a small way, the heart of God who gave us his very best, not because we earned it, but simply because he loves us. But the presents under the tree will one day break, fade, or be outgrown. The love that inspired them will last forever. This Christmas, among the wrapping and the feasting and the laughter, pause for just a moment. Look at the people around you, family, friends, even strangers, and remember, every one of them is deeply loved by the one whose birth we celebrate. And the greatest way we honor that birth is not by how much we spend, but by how much we love. Because Christmas isn't about the gifts we place under the tree. It's about the gift who was placed in a manger for you, for me, for the whole weary world. And that gift changes everything. So for me and my family, and everyone at America's Pulse Network, we wish you and your families the merriest of Christmases. Again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can tell me to kick rocks. So we're going to wrap it up a little early tonight. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. It's awesome that you take time now to be here live or later on when you watch it. I appreciate it. Remember, no Pulse this Wednesday, no Pulse next Wednesday. This Wednesday at 7 was the night before Christmas on Rumble, on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be here at 7 to read that. Damon the Hammer will be on his shows this week. I'll be on mine on Sunday and Wednesday night for that. Alexander Levine is off this week. I will be here Wednesday again at 7. Back here next Sunday at 7. So everybody have a good week. Enjoy what's left of the weekend. And remember, if you live your life based on a principle and not a political party, you'll live a pretty good life.
Me hearties, you've just weathered another bold voyage through the stormy seas of truth with the Conservative Corner podcast. Hoist your sails high and keep plundering the treasures of liberty, family values, and unyielding freedom. The winds of tyranny may howl fierce and furious, but true conservative buccaneers like you never surrender the ship. Stay fierce, stand fast, and chart your course for a stronger tomorrow. Fair winds and following seas. Until next time. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and best wishes for a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Ahoy!